We don't want anyone else to get hurt. You don't want to do this. Yeah, we do.
What's going on, everyone? It's Semp. Welcome back to the channel. Here's my video talking about how Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Sharon Carter specifically, could be setting up a part in the Secret Invasion storyline by working for a newly undiscovered version of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a solid amount of evidence, so let's get right to it. Before we start though, if you're new to the channel or if you just like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy. New videos are posted weekly, but other than that, let's get into the video. Let's go. So let's start it off by debunking the power broker theories. If you want to learn more about this and who I think it is, check out last week's video. You can click in the top right corner right now, or if you want to watch this video, go check it out after. But a lot of people seem to think that Sharon Carter could be the power broker, and honestly it makes no sense. Number one, she kills all the hitmen that the power broker sent to save Nagel when Sam, Bucky, and Zemo went to talk to him. If she was the power broker or worked for him, wouldn't that just make him more mad? Why would she kill her own people? We also know that Sharon was blipped thanks to Avengers Endgame, and the power broker had to have been in power before Endgame because Zemo points out that he knew the power broker, which had to have been before the events of Infinity War and Endgame, since Zemo has been locked up in jail for at least 5+ years. So what is Sharon Carter doing now? Who is she working with? There seems to be a decent amount of evidence leading to the fact that Sharon is once again working for a newly redesigned and undercover version of S.H.I.E.L.D. The timeline of Fury is unknown, but we're presumed to believe that him and Talos switched spots in between Endgame and Far From Home, and so likely Fury is in space right now considering that this is 6 months after Endgame. And as we know, the Secret Invasion show is set to come out next year, propelling a huge storyline with Skrulls, Sword, and well, possibly S.H.I.E.L.D. So hear me out. The Falcon and Winter Soldier concept art that was released a while back gave us our first looks at John Walker in the suit, Bucky, Sam, Zemo, and of course Sharon Carter. Now notice the similarities between the suits and what we have seen on screen. For Sam, Bucky, and John, it's exactly like how they look in the concept art. Except for Sharon, it looks like she's wearing a S.H.I.E.L.D.-like suit, and it's something we haven't seen yet. Similar to what we have seen with Bobby as the Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wear, it does look like a suit that a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent would wear. So this leads me to believe that we haven't seen Sharon in her newly revealed role, which is likely coming in episode 5 or 6. We even see set photos of her in what appears to be a more formal look, most likely back in the US, since we know that we get pics from Wyatt Russell in a military suit, and with the mid-season trailer showing him in that same outfit, we know there's supposed to be some sort of count hearing or government involved scene. Now also, not something huge, but the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Twitter actually retweeted the Falcon and the Winter Soldier first trailer, which is kind of unusual and odd for them to be doing since the show ended and there hasn't really been any activity since then. And no, I'm not saying the entire Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. team is joining the MCU, that's extremely unlikely, but I am saying the idea of S.H.I.E.L.D. may be coming back in the MCU. Highly unlikely, but with Miss Marvel around the corner, which is set to give us our first Inhumans explanation in the MCU, it is possible S.H.I.E.L.D. is already doing research on Terrigen or Inhuman activity. Does the power broker have other connections besides the super soldier serum? It's something to ponder, consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thrived off the Inhuman storyline, and even though it's unlikely, they did in fact share the teaser like I said before. We can also take a look at what Kevin Feige said about having undercover and secretive teams in the MCU, and he answered the possibility of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra ever returning, so here's what he had to say. Well, again, you can always look at the comics, right? We always take our lead from what has happened before, and these organizations come and go in various forms over the years, so they always could return. There are new organizations like Sword that you saw in WandaVision, so there's always an inherent need for above board or shadowy organizations of some kind in the MCU. Now, does this give us a whole lot of proof? No. Is Feige one of the most secretive men alive? Yes. Does he drop the most subtle hints possible? Absolutely. The idea and fundamentals of Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. are still in the MCU. Zemo and Bucky even mentioned Hydra a few times in the show, and honestly, with the world in ruins right now, governments still torn apart, and Secret Invasion on the horizon, you don't think Nick Fury has a backup plan in case his bond with the Skrulls went haywire? Fury always has a plan. Obviously not connected, but we even saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. how S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra were never fully gone, and even S.H.I.E.L.D. had a ton of backup bases. So both entities were merely just worn out and had to regroup, and I think Sharon could be playing the fence on working as an undercover for S.H.I.E.L.D., but also living in Madripoor to hide from the US government intervention. It's not clear what her role or intentions may be, but the idea of her being in a grounded SHIELD unit would make a lot of sense. Sharon Carter, or Agent 13 as referred to in the comics and I think one time in the MCU, has always been a part of some sort of secrecy. There's even a storyline where she faked her death so that she can go on a top secret mission for SHIELD, which maybe she did fake that she was blipped. So this is something that could very realistically happen in the MCU. She also becomes a member of the Secret Avengers team at some point and shares both sides of the spectrum during the Civil War comic storyline and the Superhuman Registration Act. Whatever she's doing and whoever she's working for, her intentions aren't bad, and that's why I think she's doing the dirty work herself, because when she finds out that Bucky and Sam want the serum, or at least knowledge on it, her body expressions say it all. It's like she wants to help, but she can't, and that may be due to her secrecy of the SHIELD situation. She also mentions how she's rich off selling artwork, and while that could be true, it could also be a cover-up for that SHIELD money that she's getting. And the fact that she had people ready for her to leave after the Nagel incident, something's just not quite right with Sharon. And like I mentioned before, Secret Invasion is slowly approaching us, and it seems like we're going to see a Skrull in every project until then, which we haven't seen yet in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So could Sharon be a Skrull? The idea of that isn't too far gone, considering Feige stated Secret Invasion will show what it's like when a bad group of Skrulls infiltrate every level of power on Earth. And at some point a huge Skrull reveal is going to be seen with a big level character, but not too big, so someone like Sharon or Maria Hill. But even if she's not a Skrull, the idea of her being in the Secret Invasion show would make sense. Why else bring her character back? What could she bring to the table? But that's it for this theory. I know it's a short one, I just wanted to show some of the evidence that SHIELD still could be around in the MCU, especially since Feige did kind of comment on it. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section, and if you think SHIELD or Hydra is returning, I'll have more Falcon and Winter Soldier videos on the way. So for all announcements and to keep up to date with my content, follow me at AnotherMarvelG on Twitter. All links to my socials are below, including where you can find the podcast. And we're closing in on 250 subs, so make sure you're subscribed with the notification bells turned on so you don't miss any new videos. And other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm Another Marvel Guy, and I'll catch y'all on the blip.